Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me for another segment of Lifting Community Spirits. I'm your host, Fred Holley. I'm the event coordinator at Republic National Distributing Company in New Orleans, Louisiana. And today's segment is being filmed at Cho Thai, that is the BRG Hospitality Group's newest acquisition. And our guest today is the gentleman that runs BRG Hospitality, Octavio Mantilla.
Correct.
Very good. So, as we normally do, we have two cocktails here. And Octavio, your cocktail?
It's called Bird's Eye View. And it's basically Herradura infused, right? Tequila infused with Thai chilies, with mango puree, a little ginger and lime chili base.
Fantastic. And my cocktail is the Midday Dive. And that is made with Herradura Tequila. And as usual, Kayla, the general manager here, / bartender at the end of our conversation, she'll break down both of these extremely creative cocktails. Now, this Midday Dive is with the newest distiller that we have in the city, 73 Distilling, and it's with Gentilly Gin. So I'm looking forward to tasting this. And with that said, we had a couple of Cho Thai's most popular dishes. And why don't we bring those over? And we have the chef that will explain both of these dishes. Octavio, cheers. Thank you for joining me for Lifting Community Spirits. This has got to be the prettiest drink in the city.
Well, over here we have the Thailand's national dish, which is the Pad Thai. And over here at Cho Thai, we serve it with head-on and tail-on shrimp, bean side of bean sprouts, a little bit of granulated peanuts, our own house-made Thai chilies, and then what you kind of do is mix all of that together and enjoy.
Fantastic.
And, over here to my left, we have the khao soy dish. Over here, we call it the Chiang Mai Dish, which is the region that this dish is coming from. And then we have noodles two-way, one which is fried, and then one is a fresh egg noodles, and it'll be all the way on the bottom. And then it gets served with short ribs, and then all this accoutrement on top, cilantro, a little bit of red onions, and some chili crisp. And then same thing, mix it up and then enjoy.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Chef. I appreciate it. Yep.
Very good, Chef.
Very good. Well, Octavio, it would appear that the cuisine of Asian fusion is extremely popular right now. So tell me, how did Jimmy Chow and you and the BRG Hospitality Group get partnered up?
It came to be. First of all, there's this wonderful restaurant in the West Bank of this New Orleans. It's called Banana Blossom. And the proprietor and owner of that restaurant is Jimmy Cho.
Okay.
So I went to have lunch there a couple of times, fell in love with his food and his personality. And started a conversation with him about why not bring that wonderful Thai cuisine and his food to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And started little by little, we became friends. We have very similar personalities, came from very similar backgrounds. He's from Thailand. I was born in Nicaragua. Came as immigrants to the United States.
Right.
And we struck a chord and we just became good friends. And then when the opportunity happened to put a restaurant in this location, immediately I thought of Jimmy. So I approached him. I said, Jimmy, let's bring this food here. He's like, let's do it. And I said, I know you got your restaurant. BRG Hospitality will operate it. It'll be your menu creations, and we're going to have a hit here. And he agreed, and there we went. The big thing is that when we made that deal was pre-COVID.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, we had already built the restaurant, and here comes COVID, and we were supposed to open first week in April. Well, COVID hit,
Right.
Done, everything done. We waited till June to open it up, and which is very risky. I mean, you see restaurants
Extremely
closing
risky,
down right and left, and
Right.
but we believe that we had something special here. We believe that as restaurateurs, we take risk. I mean, the restaurant business is a very risky
Right.
business, and we said, let's go for it. Let's throw it all out there.
Well, that's absolutely terrific.
And it's been, so far, it's been very welcomed by the neighborhood.
Good to hear. So with this collaboration, and you manage 10 different restaurants that are within the BRG Hospitality group, right?
Correct.
How do you come up with the concept? Is that from the chef that you might have, or is it just a need out in the market that you feel?
So both. So for example, sometimes we have a very talented chef within our group that's already working with us, and we might see a missing piece in the city that might be filled by creating a concept,
Right.
and having that chef match up for it, and then we create it. But with Jimmy was the reverse, and that's why I say both. With Jimmy is he was already in existence in the West Bank. We thought we needed something. It was a missing piece here, but at the same time, he was already the chef.
Right,
So
right.
it's a combination of both. We either create because there's something missing. In this case, we thought there is a few Thai places in New Orleans, but I think this is a little special. It brings the quality, and it brings the level of execution to a high level.
I think your location is fantastic as well in respects to, there's a lot of young millennials around
Yes.
here. And certainly I think that group is very, very into Asian fusion, health, and
Yes.
I mean, I think the location that you picked with this concept should go over pretty well.
Yeah, so far as
Congratulations
welcome,
there.
thank you.
know? Well, good. Well, look, in managing these 10 restaurants, and I know I've heard from other restaurateurs that because of this pandemic that we're in, there's been situations where deliveries are an issue, where getting product is an issue, where getting help is an issue. Out of your 10 restaurants, what's been the biggest concern or issue that you've had?
I think not just the restaurants, but the things that you mentioned, like deliveries, all those are affected by people.
Right.
It's been very difficult to get people back to work for many good reasons.
Right.
One is people are afraid, they want to stay home. Other people, we're competing with the government on pay.
Right.
So the people aspect of our business, this is a very people intense business, has been the most difficult. And it is affecting not just the restaurant themselves, but also the distributors. They need people to distribute the products to us. So all that is a combination of people.
Well, very good. So the next question I have is that, certainly having 10 restaurants as such, and a number of other people that I've spoken to, restaurants that have opened early, has had to pare their menus down. Not only their menus, but their drink menus and their wine selection as such. How have you guys handled that situation?
So from our standpoint, during COVID, you have a lot of restrictions. People are going to come to your restaurant. They do not, our personal view was that they do not want to feel, they're coming out, they're going to eat, they want to feel normal.
Right.
And we had the same experience during Katrina. And we learned from that all of a sudden you don't want to come to a restaurant and say, oh, by the way, because of COVID, I have a limited menu. Because of COVID, I don't have my wines. Because of COVID, I don't this. And all of a sudden the customer is feeling this, why did I go out? I feel like I'm still in the middle of COVID. So when they walk through those doors, I want them to feel as normal as it can be. I'm not going to remove tables. I'm going to not seat tables. I'm not going to, make a dining room look with green tape saying you can't sit here. I'm not gonna take the bar stools out of the bar, even though I can't sit.
Yeah.
I want it to look as normal as possible. Yes, very challenging. I understand people. This is something that we decided to do because we felt strongly about the atmosphere and the experience we're giving. So we did not. You look at the full menu here, full cocktails, everything. There are some items that we might have changed in some very few of our restaurants because product. We couldn't get this product or not. But for the most part, I would say 90% of our menus are full-fledged menus.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's
as difficult as it is.
It's extremely difficult for sure. You know, we even us at the wholesaler have had to pare back slightly our distribution.
Right.
You know, and we've got thousands upon thousands of SKUs out there, and you know, when people aren't going out as much, they're not drinking as much, and so sometimes you have to take steps to alleviate that.
And for example, I mean, the kitchen still has to produce this menu. So when you have less people in the kitchen, it's difficult. So it is easier from an operational standpoint to pare down the menu, but just a decision we decided not to do.
That brings up another question that I didn't plan on asking, but I did ask Stan Harris this, the Louisiana Restaurant Association president, and he made some good points in regards to the kitchens, you know, and COVID, where there's plexiglass in the grocery stores. There's plexiglass at banks now. Do you see any changes in your kitchen designs in the next year or so because of this pandemic?
I think yes. One being that right now, 45% of our businesses take out and to go.
Wow.
So you have
45%.
to change your line. Mm-hmm. You have to change your procedures because of COVID, you're doing so much to-go business. So producing a dish like this and also a to-go dish, so you gotta change your line. You have to make it more efficient. So you start looking at all those things. Where are you gonna pick up? Yeah. Where are people gonna come and pick up stuff? Every little step has to be replanned.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you also in your 10 restaurants, and why don't I see if I can name them? It is August, Born, Dominica, 2 Pizza Dominicas, Luke, Chow Tai, Eunice in Houston, Shia, and I'm missing one.
Willa Jean.
Right. So that's quite a lineup, and it's quite a diversity of concepts in food. So I certainly have to hand it to you to be able to cover that whole spectrum as such. In regards to the people that are coming into your 10 restaurants, has there been any pushback in regards to the phase that we're in, that New Orleans is in, and the protocols that you've set in place?
I think there is some pushback for the most part. Customers understand the rules and regulations, but yes, we do get, you know, some people that just basically don't bring a mask, so we have to provide it for them. They don't want to wear one when they get up on the table to the restaurant. So we have to face those issues and say, listen, this is the rules for us to stay open. We need to follow them. But that's basically the main pushback.
I got you. So your prediction on the region's culinary status by the end of the year, will it be better? And when do you think it'll be back to full staff?
Every day gets a little better, but not there anywhere close. I don't see us getting to normal till fall of 2021, a year from now. And that's the reality of it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but we are preparing our restaurants and our business for that reality. If it's sooner, thank goodness that it happens that way.
Right. Well, thank goodness for your financial situation, for your for your certainly overall knowledge of the restaurant business to be able to plan that in regards to the number of restaurants that you think are going to fall out, and bars that'll probably fall out. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that a 40% loss of restaurants and bar is a pretty good number. I mean, we might lose one or two. I mean,
Right.
I feel we need a lot of help. Restaurants have been impacted probably more than any other industry, maybe the airline industry, it's another one, but restaurants have been impacted greatly, and we need help from the federal government, and the faster they act, the less restaurants are going to fall. But if we continue in the path that we're doing, that nobody's doing anything, and
Right.
yes, we had some help at the beginning, but I think that help is done. We need action and to save some restaurants.
Yeah.
It is tough. I still feel positive that we can get through this. We have been through many things, not as severe as this. We went through Katrina, oil spill, so forth and so on. We're very resilient people in New Orleans, and we feel our company will survive, but it might be smaller if there's no help.
Yeah. Well, with that said, though, BRG Hospitality Group, I would suspect if there's anywhere from 20 to 40% of the restaurants and bars go out, do you see opportunity in the future to possibly expand?
Absolutely, and we do look at that. Definitely, the places that are hurting the most is downtown New Orleans, the French Quarter, where we have no tourists.
Right.
So if there will be opportunities to buy other restaurants or to create new ones, because people are going to go out of business. And if I'm actively looking, example, go to the suburbs. People are staying home. Showtime is a perfect example. This is a neighborhood. It's not downtown. It's not completely dependent on tourists or part tourists.
Right.
And I seen both, because we have restaurants in suburbs, uptown, mid-city, and restaurants downtown. And those restaurants downtown depend on some tourism, and without that, they're hurting.
Well, I know that Stephen Perry on WWL today gave a passionate plea to the state, to the federal government, and to the city to open up the restaurants.
And we need that.
In a greater state.
We need that. Oh, it is tough being phase two,
Right.
this far into it, and I understand all the different issues with it, and but we need to open, and we need to be open, and
Right.
that's one of the reasons when the second we had a chance to open up for dining, we were open. Second, we had they closed us down and we could do curbside, we did it.
Right.
I thought it was important not only to keep as many employees as we can, but we needed some type of revenue to move forward.
Terrific. Well, look, the last question I have is you had mentioned that you're from Nicaragua.
Yes.
And so you're a first-generation immigrant.
Yes.
Tell us your story. How'd you get here? Your progress through the industry.
Okay. Born in Nicaragua, there was a revolution in 79. I came here in 81. I was 14 years old, came here by myself.
Oh, wow.
And my family followed a year later. I went to school here in public school in Metairie, Grace King. I worked in restaurants the second I got here. Dishwasher was my first job.
Wow.
I moved.
That's learning from the bottom up, right?
Yeah.
There you
And that's
go.
why I love the restaurant business. I think the business is opportunity. Anybody can do it if you put your heart and soul. And education, I went to Tulane for my bachelor's. I got my master's from University of New Orleans. All the time working in the restaurant business. Dishwasher, busboy, back waiter, front waiter, captain, supervisor, manager, owner. And
Well, that's fantastic.
So,
So you're saying the American dream is still alive.
yep, especially in this industry.
Well, I know I learned 4 things when I first started in the business, elements to success, and it was attitude, knowledge, skill to impart that knowledge, and work habits. And obviously you have all of those, and you've done a fantastic job. So I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank Chow Tai for hosting.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining us for Lifting Community Spirits.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, join us next week when we have a new segment of Lifting Community Spirits. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm the head bartender at Chow Tai on Magazine Street, and I'm going to make a couple of my favorite cocktails. The first one being the Bird's Eye View. So we have Herradura Reposado Tequila that we infuse with Thai chilies. And then we have a little bit of triple sec, some mango puree that we infuse with ginger, a little bit of lime juice, and then we do a salt chili rim. Strain this out. And then garnish it with the chili. Okay, so now I'm gonna make our Midday Dive cocktail. We're using Gentilly gin. It's made locally on Claiborne Avenue. We're gonna do 0.75 ounces of that. Then we're gonna also use this SOHO Lychee liqueur, and we're gonna do 0.75 of that. And then we're gonna use some fresh lemon juice, 0.75 of that. And then we're gonna take some honey syrup, which is just honey watered down a little bit. We're gonna do 0.75 of that. And then we're also gonna add an egg white, which we're gonna do an ounce, which is about 1 egg white. And then I'm gonna give that a little bit of a dry shake, just to get the egg white mixed up a little bit. Then I'm gonna add ice. All right. And then we're gonna strain this out. Oh, actually, we need to add the butterfly PT, which is this. This is gonna give it the purple color. Give it another shake. All right. There we go. And then we'll put a nice little edible flower garnish.